if we're being totally honest with ourselves, all of us have blind spots. So all this came to a head one day when I was reading my college literature assignment, when I just couldn't see the words on the page right in front of me. And I tried every trick I knew. I rested my eyes. I turned on my brightest lamp so it would create more contrast. But no matter what I did, these tiny little floating dots just kept getting in the way. And I couldn't see around them. Like a swarm of bees, these little dots invaded my field of vision. A simple little assignment that should have only taken 30 minutes was already taking well over 2 hours. And I wasn't even close to being done. Not being able to see in poor lighting conditions is one thing. But not being able to see the words on the page under my brightest lamp was totally different. I felt devastated, hopeless. Because deep down, I knew that this was it. Darkness was finally knocking on my door. I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. All of my energy was gone, and I felt like the life I had known was gone too. Not only was I unable to physically see, but I couldn't even imagine what success looked like in these circumstances. I couldn't begin to envision a future without being able to see. I felt frustrated, angry, and bitter. I was at a real crossroads. What about you? You ever been in a crossroads? Feeling frustrated and maybe even bitter because things outside of your control didn't go according to plan? Unsure what to do next? Well, at this point, my dream of going into the medical field didn't seem like much of an option because I couldn't even see to complete my classes. So after having multiple near-death experiences while I was walking and driving my car, flushing nearly 3 years of university work down the drain, in the prime of my life, I was forced to embrace the fact that I'd never be able to see again. So at 21 years old, I knew that I would never be able to see another sunset. I'd never see my future wife. And I'd never see my future children. Life as I had known it just disappeared, like it was some sort of dream. And I was forced to confront this new, dark reality. And for months I felt sorry for myself. And I kept making excuses. So I finally decided that, you know what? That's not serving me very well. So I decided to adopt a new philosophy in my life. And that philosophy is that excuses are for losers. That's hard to hear, isn't it? Excuses are for losers. Let me ask you something. How much time do we spend looking for good and maybe even legitimate reasons to fail? And even if we find a legitimate reason to fail, how does that serve us? I guess there may be a few legitimate reasons to fail. For example, if you're dead, okay, that's pretty legitimate. Or maybe you're beating your competition so badly that you want to give them a hand so that they can catch up. That might be another reason to fail. But who would you rather be? Someone who found good and possibly even legitimate reasons to fail, or someone who found a way to break through your barriers? You know, sometimes we just have to accept that the facts are not going to change. I was blind and there was absolutely nothing that I could do about it. So feeling sorry for myself meant that I'd be feeling sorry for about another 50 years. That's a lot of sorry. Now, for the rest of my life, I knew I'd be blind, but I didn't want to be blind and bitter. You see, the blindness was guaranteed, but my attitude, well, that was up to me. I knew feeling sorry for myself wasn't going to solve a thing. Just because life took my eyesight, it wasn't going to cut me any slack. And years from now, when you look back on your life, how will you feel if you don't get what you want out of your life? Is it better to comfort yourself in the moment with an excuse? Or would you rather hold yourself accountable so that you can achieve your goals and your dreams? None of us here are responsible for all of our circumstances. But we've got to be accountable for our life and our outcomes. At the end of the day, this is my life. So I've got to own it. And that's your life. You've got to own it. If you don't own your life, who will? So what am I going to do? Well, I realized that I needed to embrace my situation. I needed to think positively and take action, right? On the upside, at least I'm not afraid of the dark, right? Then I'd just be a blind guy wandering around screaming all the time. So at this point, not even being able to walk around, I knew I didn't have much of a choice, so I needed to get a seeing eye dog. So I went to Leader Dogs for the Blind, where I learned a whole lot more than just how to use a guide dog. I ended up getting a lesson there that would change my life. Thank you.